If it's important to shift in your desired identity, in your desired self, to overcome self-sabotage, and to get to know yourself better so that you can fulfill your inner potential, the message that I'm about to share with you in this video might just as well give you some of the required tools that you need to be working with to go through the process of shifting your identity with ease, with as much pleasure as you're able to extract from that process, and with the joy of enjoying the journey of transformation. So if that's important for you, stay with me because I'm about to uncover some of the secrets behind identity shifting with this little commitment that I made to myself. And I'll share everything about that commitment because I believe you get what you need from it. That being the case, let's directly get into the topic. Hey there, I am Danny from the Higher Consciousness with Danny, and I'm here to help you expand your awareness, step into higher consciousness, and fulfill your inner potential. So what is identity shifting? It's a way to approach inner transformation from the inside out. And it's a topic also that I deeply care for and I speak a lot about in this channel. It has so many different aspects and nuances behind it. But one of the aspects that I want to talk about specifically in this video is this commitment to having inner conversations with yourself. Without being able to speak to yourself in a loving way, as if you are reparenting yourself, as if you take the position of both your mother and your father to give yourself the acknowledgement and direction that you need on the journey of transformation. It is really, really challenging to persist through some of these more negative moments in life, those valley experiences in which you lose hope, in which you doubt yourself, in which you are worried that nothing of what you're doing matters. And this is the power of inner conversations. Once you understand how they work, it will be so much easier to pass through those challenges with ease. So what is this commitment that I made to myself that I want to tell you a little bit about? It's simply a commitment to having inner conversations with my feelings. Our feelings, they are truly powerful. If you understand the power of our feelings, you can use them to get to know your shadows, your blind spots, to get to know your limiting beliefs, let them go, transform them. And you can, in the same way, use your feelings to get into the state of your desire fulfilled and give yourself the required inspiration and even motivation to persist through what's required of you to move in the right direction. Your feelings truly hold a lot of power, and through your own feelings, well, you can see what has been holding you back. If you take a moment to inquire, to investigate them, and this is the first aspect of the inner conversations, of this approach to getting to know yourself better, that I want to share a little bit about. And it starts with asking this simple question. How would I know my direction in life if I don't know myself sufficiently enough for everything that I have passed through up until this stage of my life, and everything that brought me pain and that inspired me to start doing something new, to move forward? How would I know my direction? How would I be committed to it, right? It's a really powerful question that one can ask. And it's also one of the reasons why I made that commitment to myself, to have those inner conversations. Because if I don't speak with myself on a daily basis, even if it's, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes, it doesn't have to be a lot. It's not like it takes hours every day. Sometimes, yes, but in most cases, it's just a couple of pauses in between the day in which I take into consideration how I feel, and I start a conversation with my feelings as if they were my closest friend that I can trust and rely on, and I can also care for, and I know he can tell me what is not okay with him. So it's a dialogue. It's not simply affirming something that you want. It's a dialogue. Your feelings, they have their own opinion. They, in a way, they know you better than you do yourself. If you exclude your feelings from your experience, you're literally, it's like 50% out of the information that you have in your awareness, it's repressed. You don't have access to it. But the moment you include your feelings, how your body feels, in your awareness, and you take them seriously, you acknowledge them for what they are, they can tell you information that you can use in your advantage to get to where you want to be. Because your feelings know you better than you do. When it comes to your limiting beliefs, when it comes to your blind spots, when it comes to your shadows, to your traumas, when it comes to healing the inner child, or what is even bothering the inner child, your feelings know the answer. And that is one of the reasons why I made that commitment to myself, because I understand that my feelings hold power and I can use their power. I can inquire, I can investigate, reflect on the truth behind them, to ask them why I don't feel well at moments in which I don't. So going back to the question, how would I know my direction if I don't know myself sufficiently enough? Well, it would be really hard. And it will be really hard to keep a stable focus in that direction of your life, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to manifest, to achieve, to get to, if you don't know who you are and who you have been in the past. And you wouldn't be able to know who you are and who you have been if you don't take your feelings into consideration. So this is the first reason why I made that commitment to myself. And I want to ask you now, does this make sense? Can you really get to know yourself if you exclude your feelings from your experience? Hardly so. This is where the power of inner conversation comes. And this is one of the aspects behind this secret of identity shifting. Now, going forward, another one of the aspects is, well, how could I shift my identity to embody who I am, who I want to be, if I don't prioritize self-care? So, in other words, if you are trying to force yourself to become who you want to be without accepting who you are now with love and care and patience, with the loving attitude of the mother, the inner mother, how could you persuade yourself that there is a different identity that you could embody if you don't accept who you have been so far? In other words, can you fight yourself to become who you want to be? Can you kill the old self, the old man, to transition him into the new man who you want to become? Or is that a really detrimental approach? And what if self-care were to become a priority? Well, I've tried everything, trust me. In the last years, 6 years, I've tried everything from personal development, setting goals, so on and so forth. Manifestation techniques, literally everything you can think of. And the only thing that truly makes sense, and still makes sense up until this point, is self-care. Taking all of myself, even the parts that I resent and I don't like, and seeing them through the eyes, through loving eyes, through the eyes of self-care. Understanding that they might benefit me, they must benefit me in some way for those aspects, the more negative and limiting aspects of myself to be there. They must benefit me, which gets me to the third point of why I made that commitment. And again, let me know if that makes sense in the comments. I would really appreciate it. So the third point is another question. How could I overcome self-sabotage if I don't know how it benefits me? Because truth be told, we are humans. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. Sometimes we give so much importance to those mistakes that we guilt trip ourselves into repeating them all over again. And this becomes our negative, bad, in quotations, habits that stop us, that are there in front of us as literally blockages, as obstacles that sometimes we cannot step over because they are really intense. And a lot of times, through self-criticism, through self-condemnation, we don't want to face those bad habits, those bad tendencies, negative tendencies, because we feel guilty. And that feeling of guilt is literally what keeps them there, what keeps us stuck. So back to the question, how could I overcome self-sabotage if I don't know how it benefits me? I've come to the conclusion that not only every negative feeling, but every negative model of behavior, in fact, works in my benefit. I might not be aware of it at this moment in time, but if I take the required time to get to know myself better, to have an inner conversation with my feelings, to have an inner conversation with that urge of whatever habit I'm trying to escape or trying to stop. If I don't have the inner conversation with the urge, the moment it comes up, I will most likely repress it, push it down, and it would come up again, but I wouldn't know why it comes up. I wouldn't know what drives it. And the inner conversations help me find that out. And I found the ugliest truths, which doesn't change the fact that they're truths. I found out, for example, that I've been to a big extent, and a big part of my life addicted to masturbation. And I've come to realize that it keeps me safe from having to acknowledge and to look at the shame I felt of being different to others and not fitting in the social circles that I was in when I was a child, in my more, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago. So this is how it benefits me. I couldn't have known that, and I couldn't have had the loving and self-caring attitude to that habit to make a decision to drop it whenever it comes up, even though I'm still not perfect at that. Sometimes I use it to reward myself, and that's okay. That's a conscious decision to do so. But I couldn't have had that awareness and take ownership of that urge unless I used inner conversations. This is just one example. I've had many other examples. My attitude to money, my attitude to work, all of this I've been shifting through investigating the feelings related to them, to those models of behaviors, and the feelings gave me the answers. But the only way I could get the answers was if I acknowledged the feelings in the first place, right? So this is where inner conversations come to help us. And going back to the question, how could one overcome self-sabotage if one doesn't know its benefits? I can confidently say with a hand on my heart, every negative tendency and bad habit you have, it's working in your favor. It provides you benefit. It helps you escape uncomfortable feelings that you're not willing to accept. It helps you not look at the detrimental self-concept you have of yourself that might be driving that negative tendency or bad habit. And unless you take the time to investigate through inner conversations, it will keep overpowering you. And it's not about eliminating it completely. It's about taking back that power of willpower, self-awareness. Literally the amount of will you can hold and you can use consciously. So inner conversations help a lot with that. At least this is what I found in my experience. And this is why I made that commitment for those three reasons. Firstly, because self-awareness, getting to know myself better, is on top of my priority list in my life, on top of my values. Self-care is another priority. That's the only way I've come to realize to be able to change and to shift my identities through time. And lastly, it's the only way to literally overcome self-sabotage in the long run. So this is why I made the commitment to having inner conversations with me on a daily basis. And it's a really powerful commitment. And now just to end this video, to conclude this topic, because in fact, I would like to challenge you, if that makes sense. If you take something out of this video, what if you had the courage to spend a little bit more time with your feelings and converse with them, have a dialogue with them? Where would that get you? It's literally the habit that I'm building with my coaching clients in my coaching practice. And it's a powerful habit because you can transform any model of behavior through inner conversations. So anyways, going back to summing it all up, and sharing this secret. Remember, I told you about it in the beginning. This secret that I want to uncover about identity shifting. Look at that diagram for a moment, that little drawing. Okay, yeah, it's a drawing. It's not, it works. It's a little bit ugly, but it works. You have the present self on the left side, and then you have the desired self or the envisioned self on the right side. And inevitably, through the life journey that you go, you pass through some ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. But if you want those ups and downs to go in that direction, upwards, and not be stagnant, static, and not go downwards, here is the two qualities that you can, in a way, use, take advantage of, take leverage to shift your identity. And if we call it a behavior, to embody that behavior, to make it part of yourselves. In the lower moments in which you feel whatever, disappointed, losing hope, worried, scared, ashamed, guilty, angry, whatever it is you feel, it's in the lower spectrum and it takes away from your energy. This is the moment to bring self-awareness to those feelings. This is the moment to investigate them to the point where you're able to extract the benefit they give you and let them go. It's literally about dropping the burden, not carrying heavy feelings inside of your system. It's not like you're trying to remove them. It's you're trying to understand that they provide benefit. In the moment you're able to grasp the benefit, you're able to forgive yourself and let go. I've made many videos on that topic. I have a whole list on letting go that you can check out if you're curious to go deeper in that. But with that attitude of self-awareness, I want to understand how this benefits me. You could converse with your feeling in those lower moments in life to see what keeps you stuck and let it go. And then on the higher moments in life, it's really important that you don't forget to acknowledge yourself. Because if you don't acknowledge yourself, you inevitably become attached to the outcome. And the more attached to the outcome you are, the more of your power you're giving away to an external authority that does not depend on you, that does not rely on you. So you're literally positioning yourself in a victim place, which, as we know, everybody knows, it's not constructive, it's not necessary. Yet, if you acknowledge yourself for everything that you're doing, for the good work you're doing, the meaningful direction that you go in life, the effort that you're putting in whatever is meaningful to you, the courage to speak up whenever it's required in your relationships. If you acknowledge yourself for doing that, if you affirm yourself, and if you thank yourself for doing that, you'll be so much more able to rely on yourself in the lower moments and differentiate yourself from what you're feeling so that you can acknowledge it and have a conversation with it, let it come up and let it go little by little by acknowledging that it's here to provide benefit for you. So the more you acknowledge yourself on the upper moments in life, in the wins, in the moments you have accomplished something or you feel accomplished, the more you'll be able to go in to be conscious, to be aware in those lower moments in life and extract the benefit from it that you can use to charge your vision, literally to transform your identity. And this is the secret, because if you in the lower moments in life can speak to yourself as if you're coming from the end, from the already being the desired self, and give yourself the direction you need, then are you not shifting? Now, this is a question that we can investigate, you can inquire a lot into, and I actually want to ask you to watch another video. It's going deeper into that, into some of those qualities required for identity shifting. Check it out, I'll put it here, and I'm sure you'll find it really beneficial. But this was everything I wanted to share for this challenge, this commitment that I made for myself that will be ongoing for, I don't know, we'll see. It doesn't have an end period at this time because it doesn't take a lot of time, and I know why I'm doing it. But inner conversations, my friend, they're one of the tools to shift yourself from one identity to the person that you're willing to become. So if it makes sense, maybe you can make a similar challenge and commitment to yourself. That was everything from me. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. Like this video if you liked it, comment below, let me know what's your experience with inner conversations. I would love to talk about it. I'm really passionate truly about this topic. And subscribe to the channel if you're new to it, because if you enjoy those conversations that I invite you in, well, I would appreciate it as well. to have you there more frequently. Okay, it's one of my goals at this moment. So thank you so much, and I would love to see you around in the channel. Bye bye, enjoy your day for now. See ya.